Hi everyone. So welcome to another session. In this session, whatever requirements and database structure we have created for our incident management system application, now we are going to create one API project where we will set up the entity framework and we will create entity classes. We will create uh, the DB context class, and by using that classes and DB context class, we will end up having the database creation. So we will create the database by using the entity framework code first approach. Okay. So first of all, you can see we haven't created any project as of now. We have just go through the requirement and we have just created the database structure, whatever we wanted to create in the SQL Server database. Now I'm going to create one not sample project, API project. Okay, through command line arguments. As of now, whatever API projects we have created in other series or other sessions, we have basically opened the Visual Studio, go to the template, select the web application, click next, finish, and all. So that was the wizard base how to create .NET Core application or API project through the Visual Studio. Now I will provide you some command line commands which will help you to create the project in one or two commands only. So you can see, just right click here, open your terminal. Okay, so this is your git bash, sorry, PowerShell. You can open your command prompt also, no problem. Okay, before running the command which I am going to show you here, I am assuming that you have installed the .NET Core SDK and you have also installed the Visual Studio IDE. These two things you will require, then only you can execute the command which I am going to provide you right now. Okay, so you should have .NET Core 7, .NET Core 8 installed on your machine. Okay, .NET Core is purely open source. You don't require to purchase anything for it. Okay, so just go to the google.com, search for download .NET 7, .NET 8, whatever you prefer. Download the SDK. SDK means software development kit. Install it. Once you install, come back to the folder where you want to create your project, and then type this command .NET space new web API. We wanted to create a new application for web APIs. So that's why web API new. I want to create new project. Your project name is whatever name you want to give your project. You can just mention incident management system, and then I want to give one more, that is API. Okay, this is the name I want to give to my project, incident management system.api. If I hit enter, you can see it will create a new project for you. If you go to your directory again, you can see one folder, incident management system.api. Okay, if you go inside that, you will see controllers automatically created. Go back, then you can see program.cs file, weather forecast, JSON file, everything is created for you. Okay, you don't have to basically uh, you don't have to do anything. Okay, once you create the project, uh, you will require to set up your entity framework. Okay, so what you can do, go inside this folder, close this one first. Okay, now go inside this folder, right click and open your terminal again. This is the one way, or you can do cd and then folder name, enter, it will go inside that. Anything you prefer, you can do it. I wanted to install entity framework core. So for that, you can use this command .NET space add package. Okay, then Microsoft. You can write down this command. It will require Microsoft dot entity framework core dot SQL server. Okay, so this you can just type and install it. Okay, it will download all the dependencies for this package and it will eventually install your entity framework core as well. Now we need to create the model classes and all for our API. Okay, whatever basically I want to create one table, so I'll need to create model. I want to create one DB context class. I'll need to set up the dependency injection, everything, and then I can run the project. Now let's do one thing. Go with the wizard ways. Okay, because if I go through the command line, then I can set up everything, but you will not memorize that. But if I go to the wizard ways, it will be easy for you. Don't need to memorize all the commands. Okay, so let's do one thing. Open this project in Visual Studio. Right now, if you notice here, we have created this folder, but we do not have the solution file created. Solution file means the file which can contain multiple projects. As we have created this project through the command line, we need to create solution file explicitly. Okay, so how to open this project? You can go here, right click, open with Visual Studio. Okay, it will open in a Visual Studio. Okay, now you can see this is the controller, program file, and web forecast. Now, if you click on the yes button, save button, or if you just go and unload the solution, unload the solution file, close solution, it will ask you to create solution file. See, incident management.api.sln. You want to create? Yes, I want to create. Where you want to create? I want to create here. And that's it. Okay. If you create your project from command line, you will not have the solution file. But after opening the project in Visual Studio, Visual Studio will suggest you want to create the solution file. Yes, I want to create. So just create that. Now you can open your project like this. Okay. So solution file we require. It can contain multiple projects actually. So that's the reason. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Set up the architecture of our API project. We can use the repository pattern. Okay. So for using the repository pattern, there are multiple things. You can set up everything in one project only, or you can create multiple projects for your repository services and all. We all know that. Okay. So we are having another series in this channel, that is talent to track, where you can see the architecture of the API project, which will be used in 99% industries. So that architecture you can refer if you want to create a strong, scalable product at the API side. For now, I will create repository services model and everything in the same project, and I will call it as a monolithic. Why monolithic? Because this is not the whole project. See, this is the microservice. Okay, this is only one module from your project. So it can be a one microservice, and that microservice will be monolithic for its own architecture. Okay, so I will create everything in the same project. So what are all things I'll need to create? First of all, models folder, models for creating the database entities. Then I will require services, services for writing the business logic. I'm explaining everything. Don't worry about it. Services. Okay. Then I will require repositories. Okay. Repositories for communicating with the database. And we will have the app setting.json file where we will actually store the connection string. Okay. And I don't require this one. I will delete it. Okay. In the controller, we already have one controller, weather forecast controller. I wanted to rename it as, let's check what will be our first API. So our first API will be login, right? So for that, I will create one controller, that is account controller. So the account controller can contain the APIs related to the login information. So this account controller, I need to rename everywhere. So here I need to remain as a account, remove this. Whatever unnecessary code, we can just remove from our controller like this. I don't want this. I wanted to create login API, but right now I don't want to create anything. So just comment it out and build the project. See what happens. Okay. Now I believe in our product we already have the Swashbuckle. This is Swagger Gen. Okay, Swashbuckle is the package which will help you to document your APIs in the uh, design format. Okay, so I'm just checking that has been installed. Yeah, this one swashbuckle.asp.NET Core. So if you run this project now, you can see your Swagger UI where you can see all the APIs available in your project. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so this is your Swagger UI. Now let's close it and let's try to design database. So where you can design the database in the models folder here. So in the models folder, first of all, we need to create the classes for each and every table. So let's go top down. Like I will create one class for user login, right? So here you can mention user login.cs, and this class will have these many fields. So first field we should have that is ID. Okay, always for the primary key. Then second field we can have username. It can be a string. Then third we will have password. It will be a string again. Then fourth we will have active inactive for boolean. Okay, is active. Then login, last login. So it can be your date time. Then user ID. So user ID is a foreign key actually from the user table. User ID. Okay. So this is your user login class, entity class we can call it as. Next one is right click, add class that can be your user class. So copy, paste, enter. In the user class, first column should be ID, then string, first name, then string, last name, then email. Mobile, created date. Okay, and that's it. This is your user. Now we have two classes created, user login, user. Next one is role manager. Okay, so this also we require role master. We will have ID and name. Close it. User roles. So this is for one-to-many relationship. User roles via ID, user ID and role ID. Okay, next one is incident master. This is the main class actually. Right click, add class. ID, description as a string, status can be your enum. Okay, so for this we need to do the enum first. So we will have one more folder here. I will show you how to create enums. Sorry, closed. Add folder enums. Enums. Okay, and here I will create one class. We'll call it as enumeration. Okay, and in this we will have enums. Okay, API dot enumeration dot enum, that is, sorry, API dot enums. This is namespace, and we can change it to the enum. And enum is, what is that? Status. What is status? Incident status. Incident status. Okay, so this is your enum we are going to create. So all statuses we can add here. So what are all statuses we need to create? New means 0. Okay, then assign equal to 1. 1 we don't need to add, because if you add first value it will automatically increase by 1. In progress, resolve, closed, cancel, and rejected. Okay, got it. Now we will use this as a field here. Status. Okay, so what is status? Status can be new, assign, in progress, resolve, close, cancel, rejected, anything from it. Okay, now go here. Next is, okay, here we are referring symptoms. Symptoms can be a long string, so we can mark it as a string. Then requester ID means foreign key of user table. Okay, so how to do the foreign key and everything in entity framework I will tell you, don't worry. Requester ID. Next one is tenant ID. Tenant is a foreign key of tenant table. We also need to create one more table for tenant. Okay, so don't forget that. City. Okay, so this is also one more table. Then priority. Okay, so priority is another enum. So go to the enumeration class. Where is that? This one. Create one more enum. Public enum priority. Okay, so what are all priorities we are having? 0 means high, medium, and low, I guess. Yeah, that is correct. So 0 means high, equal to 0, and low equal to 1, and medium, where is medium? Medium is equal to 1, low is equal to 2. If you give this 1, 2 after 0, that is also fine. If you don't give it, that is also fine, because if you provide the first value, it will automatically assume the next value. Okay, so this is for priority, and I guess one more is there, urgency. So urgency is also same, high, medium, low. Okay, let's close the enum now, no longer required. So priority means priority. Okay, and there is one more, urgency. Okay, and here we can mention urgency. Next one is, where is the table structure? Created date, date time, created date. Got it? So this is your incident master table. Foreign key we will maintain, don't worry. Next one is incident comments. So let's create a new class, incident comments, and comments can be ID, message, and incident ID. So it will be ID, string, message, and then inc ID, incident ID. Okay, next one, incident master JSON. So for this one, I think we can just go here and create one more class, public class incident master JSON, and field will be JSON. JSON is a long string. Okay, that's it. We can have one more column, actually, date time. Okay, created date something. So this we can just use for auditing purpose. Created by and also we can do, but do it, no problem. Requester ID. Okay, let's do that. Okay, next table is tenant master. So go here, right click, add new class, tenant master, enter. So here we can do integer ID, integer name. This is your tenant master. Next one is country, city, state, all those things we require. Okay, so city master, then ID name, state ID. Okay, so let's do one thing, prop integer ID, prop integer string name, and prop integer state ID. Right click, add new class for state master. In this we will have again three fields. First one is ID name and country ID. Okay, we will have one more table, add class, what is that, country master. In this we will have only two fields, ID and name. That's it. Okay, so we have created all the tables. Now let's create the association between them. So let's go one by one again. First table was user login, right? So in this, if you see, we are having the foreign key of user table. How to implement foreign key in entity framework? Just create one more property that for table which you want to add as a association. So I want to create the association with user table, and here you can use foreign key attribute, foreign key of user table, using and refer this property user ID. So what it will do, if you use user ID as a foreign key, it will load all the data for that user as well. You can see ID, first name, last name, this all is associated with this entity because of this foreign key attribute. This is how you can implement the foreign key. And don't forget to mention virtual keyword here. Virtual is for lazy loading. What is lazy loading? What is eager loading? That you will get to know. Okay. Eager loading means whenever you will load the record for user login table, it will always load the data for user table. But I want it to be a lazy load. If I want this user record, then only it should get loaded. Otherwise, it should only refer the record, load the data for the user login table. Okay, this is for that. Okay, so this is the first foreign key we have done. In user table, we do not have anything. Role table, no. User table, no. Incident master, yes, there are three foreign keys. So go to the incident master and start creating the foreign keys. First is requester ID, right? So requester ID is pointing to user table. Requester, and here we will add foreign key of requester ID like this. Then don't forget to put virtual keyword for lazy loading. It will improve the performance. Next one is tenant. So here we can mention tenant master. Here we can mention tenant as a name, and here we can mention tenant ID as a foreign key. Got it? So this is the foreign key between tenant master and incident master. Next one is why I'm creating the foreign keys after creating all classes, because in order to add the foreign key of tenant master, first of all we need to create that table. create that class, then only we can add the foreign key, right? So that's the only reason. Next one is CTID. Okay, so we can add CT master, and here CT, and we need to add CTID as a foreign key. So that's it. We're done with this table. Next one is incident comments. So go here, add the foreign key, or which table? Incident master. So incident master, and here you can mention incident master, and foreign key you can mention, sorry, foreign key of this field, INCID. Don't forget to add virtual keyword here. Okay, why it is crying? No, it is not. Then CT master, let's go to the CT master, add one more, copy paste. Okay, I don't have, let's copy from here then. Okay, paste. Here I need to add state ID, then state master, and then state, like this. Copy, go to the state, double enter, use country ID here, use country master here, and here you will have the country. Okay, that's it. We have completed the association between all the tables which we wanted to create in our database. Now next step should be create the DB context class. Okay, so for that I think we need to create one DB context class, and there we can mention all the these table names and all. So here only right click, add class, and you can mention like inc db context. Okay, .cs. inc means incident master. So as we are going to use entity framework, this class should be inherited from the db context class. Okay, so this db context class is available into this entity for core package. If you use that, it will automatically install it as the latest version. Okay, and what is this saying? Additional package rolling back. Okay, we need to implement that manually. How to install it manually? Go here, right click, go to the manage NuGet packages, and go to the browse, find for entity framework. Okay, this is our package. Click here and choose entity framework. This version is available for .NET 7, right? Sorry, not this one actually. We require this one, the entity framework core, which is available 8. We have 7, so choose 7 only. 8 is not supported for us because in our project we are using .NET 7, not 8. So entity framework 8 is not supported for .NET 7. That's why we need to choose it 7 here. Okay, now it is installed successfully. Go here and you can just add the using. Okay, if you add the using here now, it should resolve this error as well. See, we have added this successfully. Okay, okay, great. Now do one thing, create one constructor here, public. What is your db context name, whatever it is, and then you can add db context options, db context options. Okay, in the option, provide your db context file name, options base, like this. Okay, and base means we just need to pass whatever options we will get to the base constructor. That's it. Okay, and now before this we need to register all the tables. So first table I want to register in a sequence is user login. How to register? You can use db set, and here you can register the table tbl underscore login user login. Okay, like this table I want to register. Now I want to register some additional tables, so I will just copy paste this one Okay, and just go here. This is my table name. I will add it here as well as here. Next table is roll master. Go here, add that and add here. Next table is user roles. Go here, add, add. Okay, basically I'm adding the tables into the database. Okay, so this db context file is representing your database where all tables we need to create inside this file using db set, and then it will automatically create the tables into that database in your SQL server. Okay, so this is why we are doing this thing. If you are watching on YouTube, you can forward this video. Okay, that's it. So these many basically tables we have to create, we have just created them. Now we need to use SQL server, right? So for that we need to set up connection string also. So how to set connection string, where to set that, all these things we need to basically add in the app setting file. First of all, in app setting file we need to add the connection string. We let's how to add that. Once you reach here in the app setting.json file, here you can do one thing. Okay, so you need to basically add one section, that is connection string. In this section you can have one default connection string, default connection, and here you can mention your connection string like what is your server name, what is your database name, what is your username and password and everything. So what I will do, I will open one SSMS. SSMS means SQL Server Management Studio. Open that and just see what is the connection string where you want to create your database. Give me a minute. I think there is a battery. Okay, so we have just opened this SSMS. In this, basically, you can see server name is this. So I will form my connection string here. So if I go to the app setting.json file, here you can mention your server is equal to whatever name. So server is equal to this semicolon for the separator. Database I want to keep as a database is equal to incdb. Okay, or incident mgt db, incident management db. Okay, username password I cannot add because I do not have it. So I think we need to add two more things here, like let me think. Yeah, so we can add integrated security, integrated security equal to true. Integrated security means use the Windows login, this one, Windows authentication. Okay, so this is for that. That's it. So we have set up the connection string. Now we wanted to register this dependency into the startup.cs class, but as we are using latest version of the .NET, we cannot have that class here. So here we can just register the dependency. How to register that? So we can use like builder dot services dot add db context, add db context. Okay, and here you can mention your db context file name, incdb context, and then you want to add options as well, right? So I will open it, options, and in this we can have like something like this, options dot use sql server, use sql server. Okay, for this we need to install one package actually, then only you can use sql server. So let me check if we have already installed that package or not. Go to the manage NuGet package manager. This one you need to install, or not latest one. This one you can install. I think we already installed this one, but during the command line argument. But anyways, okay. Now if you go here in the program.cs, and you can see you can just add that using. Okay, use SQL server, and we can use configuration dot, let me add one more package, configuration dot get connection string from default connection key. Okay, so here we can just add like this. So this is not system.configuration actually. Let me check how to get that. Yeah, this one I think. Builder dot configuration dot get connection string. It is like this. Okay, so this should work. Now we have set up the connection string, we have added the dependency injection. Now this time we can start the migration means we can basically create the database by using these classes. So for that purpose you will have to call two commands. Go to the tools, then package manager, open the package manager console. Here you will have to do two things. One is add migration and provide the migration name is initial database creation. Whatever name you want to add, you can just provide it. Okay, so add migration is not recognized. Why? Add migration, right?
Initial spelling चुकला sir.
That is fine. We can provide any name to the migration file. Okay, initial database creation. I think it is not add migration. Okay, I think command is correct. I'm missing something else. So for running this command, we need to install one more NuGet package. So you will have to go to the NuGet packages and then we need to install this one, Microsoft.entity framework console.2. So you can see if you install this, you can have an access to these many commands. Okay. The first command is add migration only. Update database should be also there. Okay. So you will have to install the this one 0.7, sorry 7.0. Why? Because we are using .NET 7 only, so we cannot install 8. So once you install this package, and now if you go to the package manager console and run that command, it should work. See, it started the build. Once your project build successfully, compiled successfully, it will create one folder in the solution explorer here. The folder name is migration folder. Wait for it. Okay, there is some error. What it is saying, incident manager JSON requires a primary key. Okay, so there is one table, incident master JSON something. This one, it does not have the primary key, so we'll need to add that. Okay, and for here we miss one foreign key also. Okay, so for requester ID, basically I wanted to point it to the user table. Requester, like this. Okay, this one only. Okay, so we can just copy paste it like this. Now try it. It should work this time. Yeah, you can see there should be one migrations folder has been created. In that folder, we have created one initial database creation file. Again, I have added the wrong spelling for initial, so don't focus on it. File name can be anything, but you can see up and down methods are there. Up and down. Up means if you run this file, migration file, it will create these many tables. Country master, role master, tenant master, all these things it will create. This is basically database script generated by entity framework if you apply this migration. But if you run the down command, it will just drop all these tables. Okay. Now let's apply that migration. How to apply it? By using the update database command. Once you run this command, database update database, and it will apply all your changes to your database, but there is an error. A command was successfully established with the server, but sorry, connections. I think there is one more thing we need to add in our app setting.json. What is that? Trusted something or trust?
Trusted connections.
Yeah, trusted connection. Let's check that. Because we are not running our project through HTTPS, right? So for that purpose, we need to add this one into your connection string. This one, trusted connection true. Okay, just add it here. Now try again. Again, same error. Do one thing. Just provide this error to your Google. It will provide you
Connection
this
started
message.
with
Okay, might be some error, typing mistake, something. Trust server certificate false. This is something we need to add. Try now. No, let me think it properly. Okay, it should be true actually, not false. Now it should work. Done. Now if you go to the databases, refresh it, you can see incident management DB has been created. If you expand this, you can see all the tables which we have added in our models folder are created here in Notepad also, right? So all these tables has been created. And also if you see the association, like user login should have the foreign key of the user table. If you open the columns, you can see this is the primary key and this is the foreign key of user table. If you open incident master, let's say, so it should have multiple for three foreign keys: requester ID, tenant ID, and city ID. This is the foreign key, fk, fk, fk. This is the primary key. Okay, pk. So this is how. And if you want to see the actual details about your foreign keys, you can open keys. Here you can see incident master is associated with the city master. Incident master is associated with the tenant master. This is associated with the uh, user table. Okay, so this is how we can create the database into your SQL server by using the entity framework code first approach. Let me stop the recording.